good morning today. Welcome to my home. I'll be taking you on a short home tour for you to see how I intend for your home to be after this course. I'm a virtuous woman, or I'm still in the process of becoming a virtuous woman. So far, you're going to see what I've done. Now, in the course of going through the home tour, you're going to see what is expected, and then in the course of the week, we take it one after the other. So follow me first to the garden, because remember, a virtuous woman plants her own vineyard. So into the garden we go. You must have a garden in your home. For every virtuous woman, for every modern gentleman, for a gentleman, your home is one of the best things that should happen to you. You should make it so beautiful that you always want to come back home after work. A modern gentleman takes his time to plant his own vineyard. You can never live in a house without a garden. Even if you live in a small one-bedroom apartment, always create a place where nature comes into the garden as a garden. It could be a potted plant, and if you have a lot of space, you create a garden. Whether you live in a little teeny space, you must create a space for gardening, for flower, for nature. So follow me as we go into the garden. So here, luckily, I have a lot of space, and because I have a lot of space, I'm able to create my own vineyard. We read it in the book of Proverbs, a virtuous woman creates her own vineyard. So when I come back home every evening, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. This is my own little heaven. And my husband, when he comes back, he's like, oh, this is his own little heaven. Someday you're going to be a full-grown man and you want to come back home to a beautiful home. Someday you're going to be a full-grown woman running your own home and you're going to be happy in your own home. So this is my garden. And I try to, you can see I have that coconut that is yellow. It just makes me feel like every day is a vacation. So even when I'm stressed, I see the coconut, I feel like I'm in the Bahamas. You just have to create, God has given you a home. A home should be your heaven here on earth. So it depends on what you want. You can create anything in your garden. Do you know I have so many things that are fake in this garden? But I try to mix and match it so that you wouldn't even know. Sometimes if you come in like during Christmas, I change everything to have a Christmas feel. That is how it should be. You must have a garden or a little potted thing in your house that brings in nature. So right now, if you're ready, let's go in to start the home tour. Let's go. So this is my welcome area. I try to make it as comfortable as possible without space. And it is one thing that must be a must-have in your welcome area where people walk into your house from. You can see I have a diffuser bottle and I have a scented a candle and all of that. Now, it's very important you have the scented oil in your house because the smell of your house says a lot to everybody. Most times when you live in a house, it smells, but you wouldn't even know that it smells because you're always in the house. But when a visitor or somebody new enters the house, there's this smell. So one thing you must ensure is that at every time you have scented oil, you have diffusers, and I got this from Sheba Oil here in Lagos, and it's phenomenal. They have all kinds of diffusers, candles, and burners. What happens is when I have a guest come into the house, they're like, oh my God, what a smelling, this is so beautiful. And I have plugins. All of these are just to make sure that the house smells well. But that doesn't mean you don't have to clean the house. If the house is not properly cleaned, no matter the kind of diffuser you put in, it's not going to be effective. But this is a must-have for every modern gentleman and virtuous woman that is going into full domestication and housekeeping. You must have this. Okay, so this is my living area. Now this is my living room. My living room is just having space is very beautiful. Never cramp your house. It's just as simple as can be. I have my couch, I have my everything. But what happens is that every quarter, I try to change the throw pillows. If you come here again in another 6 months, you won't have these throw pillows. And when I change the throw pillows, what happens is that it gives my house another boost. It just looks beautiful. Okay, like I said again, every part of the house must have something that gives us a beautiful fragrance. This is my scented candle. And it gives it like the smell. I wish you could smell it from here. It's just phenomenal. And I have little decorations. A virtuous woman decorates her home. Invest. Remember, they said the virtuous woman invests in her home. A modern gentleman invests in their home. When you walk every day, there's traffic, there's everything. When you come back, your home should be like you're in a hotel. Now, look at me. Just look at this place. I have books here. Now, on no condition should, you can see what I did here. You can see this part is the one facing the door. On no condition should, if you're putting any book outside, should this part be what people look at. So you can see the way I set, everything is properly set, and this is personal organization. It's well set. And then right here, I have this magazine just to make my guests comfortable, or when I'm at home and I just want to lazy around in the living room. I love homes, and I love home decorations a lot, so I have them. So what is it you love? Maybe you love fashion, so you just drop fashion magazine anywhere in the house, whatever it is that makes you happy, so that when you're in your house, you're not in a hurry to go out. Now, when your house is not beautiful, or it's not homely, it's not comfortable, you always want to go out to visit people. And then after a while, it's even in the Bible, your friends will the Bible says your friends will hate you when you come so much to their house. It's in the book of Proverbs. So I make my home comfortable. A modern gentleman makes his home comfortable. A virtuous man makes their home comfortable. Say there's so much space, so I can't have things hiding anywhere. You don't have to cramp your house. That is domestication 101. Then you can see over here. Now this is another burner. What I do here is that I actually had to put this here. It's decorative, but it's not actually a decorative ornament. I also use this as a fragrance, as the air diffuser. So this is it. Anytime I travel, I buy this a lot. And now we also, Sheba Oil also has a lot of it in Nigeria here. Now what I do is that I take this, I put it in here. You know, it smells, it's heavenly, so beautiful. So when I put it here, it has a special kind of, charcoal. This is the coal, I get the charcoal. Now why am I saying this? Because the smell of your house is important. When your house doesn't smell nice, you will not even know. Because when you stay in a place, you wouldn't know, because you're used to the smell. So at every particular time, you must be sure the smell of your house says a lot about you. It says a lot about you. Now, so I take this, I throw it in here, and I put the matches. I light it up. And then in a couple of, give it 15, 20 seconds, and the smell of the place is heavenly. So I do this when I have guests, and then sometimes when I don't have guests, I just light the candle. But these are just the different kinds of things you have to do. And then I come to this is a little family lounge where we don't want to use the living room, because most times we don't use the living room, so that when you have a guest, you're not trying to put the living room in order. We just have this little this little area where we just sit as a family. So you can see at every point there are candles, there are burners, there are diffusers, because the smell of the house actually makes you. I have sometimes I feel like coffee. And I put on the coffee smell, and I feel like the whole house has coffee. Some days I like strawberry. Some days I put lemon. Some days I put lavender. It depends on how I want to feel. But I would never stay away from my home, because my home is welcoming. And then you can see on the side, now I have the diffuser as well. So these are what I do. I put on the wick. This now, it diffuses from here, fresh. The smell comes from. So every 2 days, what I try is that I turn around the reed. When I turn it around, then the smell is everywhere. I want you to notice what I did here. Now, sometimes I put things at the corner of the house, not because I want the house to be loaded, but I use it to hide things. Here, I have an electric switch, and I don't want people sitting down and they're seeing the electric switch. So you pay attention to details. So I use this decorative thing to cover it here. So you think it's in all decorative, but I'm trying to use it to hide the electric switch. So my house looks beautiful in and out everywhere. It's a trick. Now those two things, they're also hiding something, but you wouldn't know. Now what I have here, because I'm so particular about the smell of my house, right here down here, you can see I have all the different burners, I have all my charcoal, I have my diffusers, and it's not in any other place. So even when I'm not at home, and somebody really wants to light up the house for it to smell nice, they know where to go to. So you have to invest a lot in the fragrance of your home. Your home has to smell like you. The way you put on a perfume and people are like, oh my God, you smell nice. Your house should smell nice. Modern gentleman, virtuous woman, your house should smell very nice. And then right here again is my little area. Now your house doesn't have to be this big, but what I'm saying is that, what if you have a big house? Maybe tomorrow your husband is going to be very rich and you have so much space and you don't know what to do with it. This is just under the staircase. Now what some people do is that they pack stuffs under their suitcase. No, every space in your house has to be beautiful. I just did the African torch. Some days I just want to feel like I'm still in the village, and I come in here and I sit here. Right there by the side, you can still see I have candles. So every part of the house must have something that diffuses it for it to smell nice. Now I'm taking you straight to my guest toilet, because that's another very important place we have to go to. This is my guest toilet, and then what happens is that in my guest toilet, I try to make it very comfortable for my guest. Now here we are. You can also see here, right here, I have my diffuser bottle, because it's a different smell that I want people to get in my bathroom, okay? And I have all of this. It's very simple, there's nothing there, but I need you to notice my hand towel. I took my time to do this. In the course of the course, you're going to see how I did this. And it's very beautiful. And then look at my tissue holder. Now look at the tissue. Now I have all of this stacked up so that sometimes we run out and you have a guest, and instead of the guests running out and embarrassing themselves, they can help themselves. But look at what I did with this. Instead of you just leaving your tissue like that, I just want its hospitality. You know, so I did a little, you're going to learn this in the course of the course. It's just that now a visitor comes in here and they don't want to even abuse your room or abuse your space or abuse your home. Now, so this is beautiful. And I drop this little flower. Sometimes I leave it for like 3 days and I go out to get another thing. It's just hospitality. So when people come to your house, when they leave your house, they remember, look, I went somewhere. And I have all of these towels here. The whole idea is you wash your hand. Sometimes I don't like people using tissue. Tissue is not usually very good. Sometimes it gets sticky in your hand. When you wash your hand, like when my guests come and they get their hands washed, when you wash your hand, you wipe your hand and then you throw it into the dirty basket, okay? And then I make sure I leave this nice smelling cream right now just to fret. It's hospitality. Your house should be hospitable. Your guests, this is my guest toilet and I want my guests, I don't want them to forget me when they leave my house in a hurry. So what you could do with this is, you could do this, and then if you don't want to go all the way, you could just leave it like this. It's just simple. But I mean, they will know that there's something about you and they're not in a hurry to take it out and throw it away. Now, imagine if I didn't do this. I could have left it like this. I could have left it like this. No, there's no virtue in this. Domestication is a virtue. Creativity is a virtue. I could leave it like this. So after this course, I never want to see this in your living room, in your bathroom, your kitchenette, or anywhere. It has to be properly done. So I'm coming back to this to fix it while we continue with the tour. Okay. So, now, as we continue with the tour, now there are some candles I keep in the house just for decoration. This because the candle, it gives elegance to the house, okay? So when next you travel, if you start saving money, you can start buying candles and keeping in the house. Now, these candles are not air diffusers. It doesn't bring, what I mean is, this is just decorative, okay? Just to make the house look nice. This is my dining area, and you can see, being creative, I was just walking by the road and I saw these wigs. They are dried plants, and because a virtuous woman is frugal, I just stopped and said, hey, this will be nice, and I picked them up, and this was just something I picked on the road. And because it's all scattered, you can see it has the same thing with the vase, and I put it here. Look, creativity is in you. Modern gentleman, you have to be creative. Sometimes you go outside to the street, you can actually look for something that is bad or something that is old. That is the whole idea. Remember, you have to be frugal. You have to turn it into something beautiful. And I put this up. You won't believe that sometimes during Christmas, I actually spray it with gold. By the time you come, you won't see the brown, it turns to gold. Then after Christmas, I spray it again. Now you can buy sprays. There are different kind of sprays. There are like 10 colors of sprays based on what you want. After Christmas, I spray it back into brown, and it has the color of a wood. So this is just it. And I just picked this from my garden because I said, again, you must have plants everywhere in the house, around the house, inside the house, just to make the house come alive. Nothing too fantastic. Sometimes I use this vase. Sometimes I use my drinking vase, and I just convert it into a vase. It doesn't have to be a real vase. The whole idea is that be creative with what you have in the house. And so this is my dining area. I mean, it's well set. You're going to learn how to do the basic kitchen setting and the basic table setting and the casual table setting. And then right here again, you can see, I'm sure you're wondering, oh, I just have these things by the corner. Do you know why? I'm also using it to hide this. I always put these things by the corner because it's not nice seeing all the what is it called? I don't know what those things are called, okay? So I use it to hide it. And then on these corners, you can see I have another air freshener. So instead of just leaving it like that, and it's just there, I put the air freshener. So it serves two purposes. The house is smelling fresh, the house is smelling nice, and then again, something else is also hiding, the socket or whatever. Then right here, you can see this is a bit tilted. Do you know why it's tilted? Because I'm also using it to hide this. You can also see that I have one of the electric where you can plug things in. So I don't like them. It doesn't give the house a very nice. So these are the little details you put in your house that actually makes your house really, really beautiful. So right now, so welcome to my kitchen. Now the kitchen is where I spend most times, and for every woman, a virtuous woman, you spend time in the kitchen. A modern gentleman, you spend time in the kitchen. So you also have to make it comfortable. Don't just make your living room comfortable, okay? Every part of the house has to be comfortable. Now, I have everything. I make sure that whatever I don't need, what I do is that every 6 months, to be honest, like every year I detox. I take in a lot of stuff that I don't want. I throw them away so I don't have much cluster in the kitchen. Now, can you notice something else here? Now, this is another kitchen diffuser. But what I'm saying, because I want the kitchen to smell nice, because most times when you cook, the smell of the food covers everywhere. And sometimes, because my kitchen is big, I could have friends coming and I want them to sit here and we're having tea or just talking. And then the smell of the food just does not allow them breathe. So what do? Like I said, every part of your house, you have a house air fragrance that tells you about who the person is. So what I have here, you can see the oil is burning. Now, I also got this from Sheba Oil. This is very good. What I'm burning today is I'm actually burning lavender. So I just pour in it here, and then this is a must-have in every home. This is a must-have. You must have this, and I will need to see this before you close. And they're actually not expensive. Once you get the burner, you can use the burner forever as long as it's not broken. And then you buy a pack of 50 packs. 50 packs of the tea candle can last you for a month. You buy a pack of 50, a pack of 100, and then you put it here. Then you pour the oil based on the smell you want. I pour this oil, I can put this. And I invest in all of this. The way you invest in putting earrings, jewelries on your body, that is how you have to invest money in your home. So this is very important. So I like this up here. And then, of course, I love tea. Every virtuous woman, we're going to talk about tea. You must love tea because the tea reminds you of life as a restaurant. We'll talk about that much later in the course of the class. So I make sure I have different things. I have where I put my plates. I have where I put my cutleries. You just don't stumble things, mumble and put things everywhere. So there's really nothing deep in the kitchen, but and then I have my organizers here. Now I have this little stuff here when we throw in key holder, little things that we look for in the house. When you're rushing out in the morning, you're like, where's the key to this key? Where's the key to this? Where's the key to this drawer? Where's the key to the generator house? This is where. So we try to be super organized, okay? And then right here, it's just what I'm saying is that your kitchen has to be, you have to decluster as much as possible. Today I'm making fish pepper soup after this program, by the way. I need to eat, okay? So that's it. It's really nothing, but you keep it clean. And as long as you keep it clean and you don't have clusters, please, every year, sometimes I try to make it every 6 months. I take off the old stuff, what I'm not using, and I replace it. So you have to invest in your home. It's really simple. There's no big deal, but it's beautiful. And then this is my store. My store is another place I take my time to actually, it's filled with junk, but the junk is still organized. I have right here things that I haven't been using for so long, things that people give you gifts when you go to weddings and all of that, and I don't like things clustered. So I just stack them up here, and sometimes, because I have guests and I love my house looking new, sometimes when I travel or when I see something that is cheap, I just buy it and keep here so that at every time I keep changing. If you come to my house today, by the time you come again, you're not going to see the same set of teacups. You're not going to be served with the same set of teacups. Virtuous woman, modern gentleman, that is what makes you different. That what shows that you've gone for creative housekeeping. And then very important, we talked about being frugal. A virtuous woman, a modern gentleman, you have to understand this when it comes to housekeeping. When you want to shop, you shop in bulk. You shop in bulk. You can see here, I have a lot of onions. I don't like it. That was what it was actually my grandmother that taught me. You don't run to the street every time to buy something. She says, whenever you're running to the street to buy something, the neighbors will always know what you're cooking. So you don't say, okay, today go and buy Maggi. Maggi is finished. Okay, go to that shop next door. You must always shop in bulk. If it's once a month or once in 2 months, and you're asking, what if I don't have money? If you have 500 naira, divide it and shop every week if you can. But don't always go out to the streets, or when you want to buy anything, you're spending money. Why? If you shop in bulk, as a modern gentleman for the house, even when you don't have money, you're sure your family will eat. Even when there is nothing in your pocket, you're sure there is food. So shop in bulk. Don't always, it's a very bad habit. It shows you've not been trained domestically. If at every point you want something, you go out to buy something, you must have them in bulk. So you can see I have onions. These onions will last me for 3 months. I have a lot of garlic. It will last me for 3 months. I have the yam. I have coconut, I have sweet potato. So I just try to shop. Now, I don't buy a lot of plantain because it ripens and gets spoiled. But what I'm saying is that anything you can, even matchbox, I buy them in cartons. Try and shop, and that is personal organization. So you must think about it. It's very important. That shows that you're domesticated. Don't wait until the last thing is finished and you say, oh, this thing is finished. No. Before the last set of things you bought almost gets to the part of getting finished, you replace them. So you have to organize yourself. Do I shop every week? Do I shop every month? Do I shop every 3 months? You must shop in bulk. And then for my freezer, I try so much to organize because everybody is working and busy. You can see everything is labeled. I have the soup on this side, I have okra and egusi on the side. All the way to the ground is all set. Sometimes I make like 7 bowls and it's set. I have pepper soup, I have beans, I have everything. Now what happens is that the days that I don't have time to actually make fresh food, all of this is here. And I have beans that is already mixed and I have white beans. This is what because with this you're organized. Everything is labeled. And even when I'm not at home and I have somebody coming to the house, I can just tell them what to do. Now, if you don't learn domestication that is detailed, even if you have a house girl, the house girl or the housekeeper will not know what to do. You have to set a standard. So your freezer should be well labeled. White beans, peppered beans. I have peppered stew. I have regular stew, chicken stew. It helps you. You could do this weekly or every 2 weeks and you're super organized. Personal organization is a must. Otherwise, you're going to be feeling overwhelmed at every point. So every single thing you do, your bathroom, your kitchen, your bedroom, your living room, your garden, your personal organization, every single thing you do must be super organized. That's why we're here. You are on your way to becoming a modern gentleman. You're on your way to becoming a virtuous man. Part of your homework, you're going to give me a tour of your home. You're going to redo your home, declutter so many things, put things in order, throw things around, because something else I do every month, or to be honest, every 2 months, I throw things around in my house. The way this chair is seated is not the same way. I always throw things around and it just makes my house look new. So every time your house is looking new. So I need to see you before and after. Put your home in order, go into action, let your creativity come to life. I hope you did enjoy my home tour. So now, let's start the course.